welcome you all to the official YouTube channel of SRN International School. Today we are going to study a very important topic in class 10, that is physical and chemical properties of metals. Now, when the word metal comes into our mind, certain pictures of elements such as copper, iron, gold, it comes into our mind. So these are all metals. Now how a metal is having properties which are different from the non-metals, or what are the specific attributes which differentiates a metal from a non-metal. So all the elements that form positive ions by losing electrons during chemical reactions are called as metals, with the exception of that of hydrogen. Metals are electropositive elements with relatively low ionization energies. That is, they easily give electrons. Metals are solid under normal conditions except mercury. We know that metals are solid, but mercury is an exception which is used in thermometers. It is liquid at room temperature. So this was the exception regarding metals. Now let us look at properties of metals. Mechanical properties of metals are vividly explained, such as traction, compression, bending, brittleness, strength, ductility, elasticity, heat resistance, plasticity, impact. Chemical properties such as corrosion, resistance, combustibility, toxicity, and reactivity. Physical properties such as melting point, density, thermal conductivity, specific heat, electrical resistivity, and magnetic permeability. And some technological properties which are studied at very higher levels such as weldability, mechanability, malleability, and castability. Hardness of the metal can also be tested by different instruments and techniques such as Fresnel, Rockwell, and Vickers, but these will be discussed at a higher level in analytical studies. So let us now discuss the different properties of metal that will enable us to understand the various physical attributes of metal. So what are the physical properties of metal? That is, a metal is lustrous, that is, it has shine. It is malleable, which means it can be converted into sheets. The metals are ductile, that is, they can be converted into wires. They are good conductors of heat and electricity. So let us study about some other properties of metals. When we talk about the state of the metal, metals are solid at room temperature, with the exception of mercury, which is liquid at room temperature. Gallium is also one of the other exception, which is liquid in very hot days. Now, what is luster? Luster means shine, or it is the quality of reflecting light from their surface and can be polished. Example, gold, silver, copper are some of the lustrous metals which can be seen in the periodic table. Now let us understand what is malleability. Metals have the ability to withstand hammering and can be converted into thin sheets. For example, coils of aluminium which we use for packaging of food. A sugar cube sized chunk of gold can be converted into a thin sheet that will cover a football field. Can you consider the amount of malleability which gold has? Now let us think about what is hardness. We all know metals are very hard. All metals are very hard except sodium and potassium, which are soft and they can easily be cut by a knife. So these are some of the exceptions of metals which are very soft. Now consider what is ductility. Metals can be drawn into wires. For example, 100 gram of silver can be drawn into a thin wire about 200 meters long. Gold is a very ductile metal. 1 gram of gold is so ductile that at least a long thread of 1 kilometer can be made from gold without even breaking it. You can consider how ductile gold is. Now what is valency? Valency is the number of electrons which are required by an element in order to gain stability or to have 8 electrons in the outermost shell. So the metals typically have 1 to 3 electrons in the outermost shell, that is their valence electrons are 1, 2 or 3. Hence their valencies are positive, that is plus 1, plus 2, or plus 3. These are the valencies of metals. Now what are conductors? Conductors are the substances which can easily conduct electricity and heat. So when it comes to metals, metals are having free electrons and hence they are good conductors of heat and electricity. Silver and copper are the two best conductors of heat and electricity. When it considers a bad conductor of electricity, then lead is the poorest conductor of electricity and heat. Bismuth, mercury, and iron are also some poor conductors of electricity because they generate a lot of heat when electric current is being passed through them. So these were some of the properties. Now let us discuss about two very important properties, that is density, melting point, and boiling point. Metals are having a very high density. They are heavy. For example, iridium and osmium are considered to be metals of highest density. Lithium is the metal with lowest density. It is also used in making batteries. Now what about melting and boiling point? Metals have a very high melting and boiling point. Tungsten has the highest melting and boiling point. You know where is tungsten used? Tungsten is used in the wires of bulbs. Mercury has the lowest boiling point. Sodium and potassium also have very low boiling points and melting point. Now let us consider about the chemical properties of metal. Metals are electropositive in nature, that is, they are having a positive charge. Metal's configuration is always having 1, 2 or 3 electrons in the outermost shell. Now let us think about what are the valencies of metal. As already discussed in valence electron, they are having 1 to 3 valency, that is always of positive nature. Now let us consider what is electronegativity. Metals have a very low electronegativity, that is, they don't want to accept the electron, rather they are having an electropositive nature. Now metals easily form oxides when they react with oxygen, such as sodium oxide, potassium oxide. Also they can form hydroxide when reacting with water. So the metals are having vivid roles, large number of roles to play in our day-to-day life. They are having applications such as construction, electronic devices, transportation, food processing, and biomedical application. They are also used in biological systems. Bioaccumulation is another word, that is accumulation of substances inside an organism over a long period of time. So dear children, I hope the subject video regarding physical properties of metals was very beneficial for you, and I'll be coming with more interesting videos in the coming period of time. So till then, bye from my side. God bless you all. Please take care, be healthy and be safe.